And now, from 12 Studios, this is News 12 Now.
Well, today is Monday, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day and welcome to News 12 Now. I'm Kylee Dedmon. New on 12 Now, Paris police are asking witnesses to a shooting to come forward. It happened early yesterday morning at a large block party at the Booker T. Washington complex. More than 80 rounds were fired after a fight between two men. 4 people were hit in the melee, but are expected to be okay. Officers are still reviewing security video of the fight, and no one's been arrested so far. If you were there or have any information on the incident, contact Paris Police. And starting tomorrow, a heads up for residents in Mannsville. If you have a water bill that's overdue, watch out. According to the Johnston County Emergency Management, the town's public works stated that water services will be shut off for past due water bills. Dallas police are looking for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver and former SMU Mustang Rashee Rice in a connection to a multiple vehicle crash over the weekend. It happened Saturday on a Central Expressway near the Lovers Lane exit. DPD says 2 vehicles, a Corvette registered to Rice and a rented Lamborghini, were speeding in the far left lane when both drivers lost control. This caused a chain reaction crash involving 4 more vehicles. At least 2 people were hurt. Now, police believe the Lamborghini and Corvette were street racing, but the people in those 2 cars fled before officers arrived. Well, turning to weather, today is April Fool's, but this weather is nothing to joke about. Let's go ahead and turn now to Brian Briggs. Brian, we are weather alert today.
Yes, we are, and the threat for certain types of hazards are going up, especially for very, very large hail in certain parts of Texoma. So we definitely need to be weather alert. Now, skies are quiet right now, but we're mainly looking after about 5 o'clock this afternoon. That's when we expect some of the initial activity to move in. Now, all of Texoma is under this risk of severe weather, but places like southern Oklahoma really need to be on alert, primarily for some very, very large hail. Talking about softball-sized hail potentially, some damaging winds as well, and even a few tornadoes. So this is where we're at now. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded a good chunk of southern Oklahoma and even a little sliver of North Texas into a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk. Everybody else in Texoma remains under an enhanced risk. So again, we all have that threat for some pretty big hail here as we head into the afternoon and evening. And then, yeah, we are on the quieter side of things heading into the rest of the week. So we're going to break down your latest futurecast here on what you can expect as we head into this afternoon and evening. And we may actually take a glimpse at what that eclipse weather is looking like too. Unfortunately, it's not looking like what we want. We're going to break all those details down here in just a little bit. Until then, back to you, Kylie.
Thank you, Brian. Well, convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh received another prison sentence today. A federal judge sentenced him to 40 years in prison for financial crimes involving the theft of millions of dollars from his law firm and clients. Last year, he had pleaded guilty to nearly 24 charges of conspiracy, fraud, and money laundering. Murdaugh is currently serving 2 life sentences for the murders of his wife and 22-year-old son. House Speaker Mike Johnson got advice from Congressman Matt Gaetz on how to fight a motion to vacate his speakership. Gaetz, who worked to oust previous House Speaker Kevin McCarthy last fall, said he is in Johnson's corner and counseled him on how to navigate the motion to remove him. Now, all of this comes after Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene filed the motion to remove Johnson last week. The move was sparked by the recent bipartisan spending deal Johnson put on the House floor, which angered some conservatives. Now they're waiting to see how Johnson handles the next divisive policy, $95 billion in funding for Ukraine and its war against Russia. Greene has yet to force a floor vote on the resolution to oust Johnson, but if she does move forward, Johnson's allies believe she won't find much support from either side of the aisle. Well, there's a new chief in town after 8 months of searching. The city of South Made swore in their new police chief this morning.
Congratulations, you are now our new chief.
Jeff Laughlin is continuing his career in law enforcement. After serving with the Denton Police Department for 20 years, he's taking his experiences and challenging himself with this new role. Chief Laughlin says he wants his citizens to know they will be a community-oriented department and have an open-door policy for residents.
My goal for the department is vision and image as we move forward. I know this city is going to grow, especially with the expansion of the tollway coming through, and I think it's very important that we have a vision of where we want to go and we maintain a positive professional image.
We're very excited. We're very excited to, have the chief for the police department to guide our officers. He is better prepared and more knowledgeable, and I think that he'll lead our police officers and, going in a positive forward direction for the city.
There will be a meet and greet for residents on April 11th from 5 to 7 at the police department. The Dallas Mavericks' new owners, the Adelson and Dedmon families, are backing an effort to legalize casinos in Texas. A petition was filed by the Texas Destination Resort Alliance, and its website states it's being bankrolled by the Las Vegas Sands Corp. The petition states it's fighting to bring luxury resorts, top-of-the-line entertainment, and expanded casino-style gambling to Texas. Mark Cuban says his sale of the Mavericks to the family is part of a bigger vision for building a new arena and casino resort. However, casino gambling remains illegal in Texas. The Department of Health and Human Services has issued new guidance for hospitals regarding consent. In a letter to teaching hospitals and medical schools, HHS said doctors performing sensitive tests such as pelvis or prostate exams must get signed consent from the patient if they are going to be under anesthesia. It said patients should have the same opportunity to consent and participate in education, whether they are awake or fully clothed or not. The department says the new guidance is meant to clarify requirements for participants in Medicare and Medicaid programs. According to the CDC, there have been nearly 100 measles cases throughout the country this year. Now doctors are renewing their push for people to get vaccinated. Fox News correspondent Madison Scarpino has more.
Measles was thought to be eradicated in the U.S., but now public health officials are sounding the alarm on a sharp rise in cases, driven by recent outbreaks in Chicago, Philadelphia, and Southeast Florida. Doctors say the highly contagious disease can infect up to 90% of non-immune people who are exposed to the virus.
So it's definitely something to worry about, to think about, and to be aware that we are getting more measles than we used to.
According to the CDC, there have been at least 97 confirmed measles cases throughout the country this year, a nearly 70% increase from a total of 58 for all of 2023. The majority of these were linked to international travel and children who have not received a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine.
Can be a cause of hospitalization, serious illness, and even death in certain populations, particularly very young children, pregnant women, and those with compromised immune system.
Doctors recommend people get their first shot between the ages of 12 and 15 months, and their second one between 4 and 6 years old. But public health officials say vaccination rates have fallen in the last few years, due in part to vaccine hesitancy after the COVID-19 pandemic.
If you've completed the series of vaccinations, you should not have to worry. However, a simple blood test can check to see whether you have antibodies and are protected.
The CDC recommends isolating for 3 weeks if your kids are unvaccinated and have been exposed to measles. In Atlanta, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
UPS is slated to become the primary air cargo provider for the U.S. Postal Service, replacing FedEx. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, the change coming after intense labor negotiations last year that diverted businesses to rivals like FedEx. And it's a loss for FedEx. The Postal Service was the largest customer for its FedEx Express Air. They've been partners for 22 years. Now their contract expires at the end of September. In nearly half of U.S. states, you'll need a 6-figure household income if you want to buy a house. A new analysis from Bankrate.com found buyers needed to make more than $100,000 to comfortably afford a typical median-priced home in 22 states and Washington, D.C. Analysts assessed affordability as whether mortgage payments could be made, assuming a 20% down payment with a 30-year fixed rate. They didn't factor in closing cost, home maintenance cost, and non-housing item cost, which all home buyers have to take into consideration. If you haven't already, download that free KXII Weather Authority app to stay up to date on all the situations happening today's weather forecast. But that's all for this afternoon's News 12 Now. Be sure to tune in to News 12 at 5, 6, and 10 tonight for a complete wrap of what happened today in Texoma and beyond. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, go make a joke on somebody. Have a great Monday.